and figuring out alongside with them who their buyer persona is and who they should be targeting over the next 6 months.
Good, good. Yeah, they need an immediate strategy, a midterm strategy, long range strategy. Each one of those are going to become important with how you deal with it. Have you guys done much in the way of writing the stuff down of the benefits of all the benefits they have to offer and all the advantages of using them?
Yeah,
No.
I have a document that I was going to share with y'all on like Box, but they on their website is amazing. It lists like testimonials and like the using their business, and it really lays everything out. So I have a document on that.
You know, one of the things that's good with that, Keiko, is after you've spent your time reading their stuff, and then you just put all their stuff aside, and you do that writing dump, that data dump I've talked about. As you write it down, don't look at their website. See what permeated into you. You are a legitimate buyer, so you know they have to be able to communicate with you. You're not on trial, they are. So as you write it down, let the stuff just come out, and you'll start to discover what really matters in that. A lot of times our websites are truly data dumps. We figure the more mud we throw on the wall and we can hope something sticks, the better off we are. And what we can find out is a great deal of the stuff doesn't matter. Okay, you know, it's mind over matter. I don't mind, and that doesn't matter. So write it down and see what comes out. In fact, what's really a good exercise for you and Josh and McKay is for each of you to do that and then compare notes, and then look at it, and you know, you kind of highlight all the benefits you've been talking about and the stories you can think of how this might be conveyed. And as you read each other's, you kind of say, oh, I've got that. You guys have all played that game where you're writing down stuff, and every time you overlap, you cross it off. And I don't remember the game, but this is kind of the opposite. Every time you overlap, it says, you know what? We might have something here. So does that help you at all?
Yeah, that's great.
How about McKay? How's he doing with that? McKay, you there?
I'm here. Yeah, same as what they said. Everything's going well. We just need to meet with the company. So.
Okay. And who do you think in your group would be the best devil's advocate?
Not me.
Okay, that's Josh or McKay.
Josh,
Who's the best devil's advocate on this?
I mean, either way, I worked for him for a couple of years, so I know like a lot of their weaknesses and stuff. So I'm fine about turning them apart, finding all the weaknesses.
So that kind of sounds like McKay. You're the man, and Josh is your backup, and Keiko's going to say, no, I'm not getting into conflicts. So that's all right. Okay. Well, that sounds good. Do we have, is Jenny on yet? No, Jenny's not here yet. Okay, she will be. April, have you got Jonathan's here and Tyler is here. So how about Nova Pathfinder Healthcare? Tell us what's exciting and new and interesting about it.
So Nova Pathfinder Healthcare is an alternative healthcare insurance company. They started in November, and my mom started working for them, and she kind of pulled me into it because I got so excited about the idea, which is essentially of being able to allow holistic and naturopathic and those type of treatments and services to go towards people's deductibles to pay them down faster, so they're not just like paying for something and not getting any benefit from health insurance, because they believe that preventative healthcare is still, you know, healthcare, and it helps keep people healthy.
Yeah.
So I just started working for them about, I would say, a month ago. And I jumped in because I loved the idea. And then I realized that this is a great idea, but there's no like marketing. And so started trying to like pull a website together and stuff like that. And so now they're looking for a intro video, and they want to have like a really good script for it so that they can put it on their website. It's the first thing that people see, and then they can also put it out in social media so that people can know about them and come to us. Does that make sense? So that's one of the things that
when I hear about these kind of companies, I mean, they're really they're fairly much a startup, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How are they funded? Are they well funded or kind of
yes
running by the seat? You know?
No, they're well funded.
Okay.
So another company was doing this, and something happened, so they bought out their client base. So they're very well funded.
Oh, okay. So
so they just essentially took someone else's idea and they just zagged it, I guess that's really what they did. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool concept. That's why I really liked it.
Yeah, let me ask Jonathan, do you have an idea where the next customer might come from? Any kind of demographics or psychographics so that you can identify?
I feel like younger people like our age are more into this holistic type of lifestyle. And then you got like all the people that are using all like the essential oils and all of that stuff. Yeah. That I feel like there's actually kind of a big crowd here in like the Mountain West area that would be attracted to it. So
have any of you talked to Young Living Oils?
No.
I mean, they're in the business to do that. I mean, there's a number of companies. Isn't doTERRA doing the same kind of thing?
Yeah, doTERRA. Yep.
I'm wondering if they've ever talked to these companies about doing a strategic partnership where these companies can say, you know, we've got great products and you're doing it and you deserve to have a better health insurance that recognizes this. Here's the one you ought to use.
That's what we're in the process of doing right now, is actually trying to get emails and like that's why they want a video, so they can put it in things, because people they'll watch videos more than read emails these days, is what we were figuring out. And so that's why they kind of want that, because they want to approach these people, especially like chiropractic offices and stuff like that, to show them, hey, this is a health insurance that like you can get for your staff, and it will help them to be able to do that things that they already love to do, which is why they're in chiropractic and all that stuff, because that's why a lot of people are in it, because they enjoy doing that stuff.
But that's more of the mass market. What I'm most interested in what they're doing is how you can set up a partnership with a large company, and you can't do that unless you have a face-to-face meeting.
That's true.
Being able to, and you could probably go to some chiropractor offices, because chiropractors are always looking for another avenue to make money. Because you know, those guys and gals work their butts off and they don't make much money.
That's exactly right.
And so if you can give them an alternative insurance thing, they really groove on that kind of stuff. They really do love saying, oh, that's not the typical, great, that's perfect for me. But I would personally go and talk to a couple of chiropractors, and then I would make sure that whoever the head of this Nova Pathfinder is, the CEO needs to go to the CEO of doTERRA, the CEO of Young Living Oils, any of these people, and sit down, have a good lunch, and saying, I think we can help each other.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, sometimes we think of advertising as strictly what goes up on a billboard or an email, but
Yeah.
sales is still, you know, if you haven't read this in the book yet, advertising is salesmanship in print. Okay. So the first thing is salesmanship. You've got to be able to do the principles of salesmanship. And the guy who has it in his best interest is whoever's in charge of Nova. And they need to go there. And if I were you, I would say, I'll do everything I can to set it up as long as you let me go with you.
Yeah.
And I'll sit in the back of the room and not say a word. But, you know, in fact, I'll buy dinner if you let me go. Because you learn more out of that than any other way. So.
Yeah, I can go. Me and the COO, who's kind of like my boss, because it's a small company. There's only a small few of us right now because it is kind of like a startup type thing. He's the one that actually, I was telling you, someone wanted your book. That's the person that wants your book. Like, he loves this stuff like that. So yeah, I have a good in with him, and that's why he would love to have our help.
Great.
Because he's trying to find a unique way to tell a story to bring this out, because there's a lot of noise with like traditional healthcare insurance.
Yeah.
So.
And Tyler, you've done a lot of sales, haven't you?
Yeah, I actually haven't done anything else. I have a very contracted resume. So
when was the first time you ever went selling?
I was 13.
Yeah. See, when I was 10, we got Boys Life, and they had all-occasion greeting cards. Boys Life was the Boy Scout magazine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they had all-occasion greeting cards and Christmas cards, and I just kept sending for them, and I'd go out and sell door to door. And I was 10 years old, and one of the first things I learned is a 10-year-old boy with a smile on his face in a suit
is the best.
They're going to listen to him.
Yeah, I've kind of lost that factor.
Yeah,
as I've gotten older, they're more harsh with me. So luckily, I was able to learn early.
I have to do this little bit of diversion because it is part of salesmanship. Is my older brother, who you met, we went. He said, "How come you always have money?" I says, "Because I go out selling. I've sold everything, door to door." And he says, "Well, I got to get in on this action." We were selling See's candy or ribbon candy or something like that at Christmas time. And he says, "Can I go with you?" I said, "Sure." I said, and I showed him how to do it on the first door, and he goes, "Okay, I got it from there." I went, "Really?" Okay. So he went across the street, and we were working on the street that kind of was a J. And I got down to house number 5, and I had sold 6 boxes of candy. Was doing okay. And I turned around, and he was at the next door, or 2 doors down, on my side of the street. I said, "Eric, you're supposed to be on the other side." He said, "Oh, I already did them." He said, "What do you mean you did them?" He says, "Yeah, I did them, but they weren't interested." I said, "All right, let's go to the next door. Show me how you did it." He knocked on the door and he goes, "You want any candy?" "No." "Okay, bye."
I have a lot of that.
Yeah, I remind him of that occasionally. So, all right. Well, that sounds good. Like you've got some stuff going there. Great. How about Josh and Anna, and is Brenly back yet? Well, in fact, we've got Jenny B's here now, and Hayden, you're here. Do I see Hayden? Where's Hayden? Hayden. Oh, Hayden's there. Yeah, Hayden's here. And Courtney I think Courtney said she couldn't make it.
Yeah,
So
Courtney
Jenny,
has work.
Yeah. So how is it going for you and the company you're trying to write an advertisement for?
It's going really good. Yeah.
Tell us more.
So we're doing patchwork quilting services. So they are a long arm quilting company, but they also do memory quilts, so t-shirt quilts, and they sell starter kits and products. So
I've heard you say a lot of words so far, and I don't have a clue what they mean.
So long arm
it's not
quilting.
you. It's not you. It's me.
No, it's all good. Long arm quilting is when somebody quilts a top of a quilt. It's where they do those fancy designs, squares and blocks. But
No.
then they need to take their top of their quilt and put batting and a back on their quilt and piece them all together. And if you do that by hand, it takes months and hours on end to do that. But there's a machine called a long arm that you can connect, you set up, and it does it for you. It quilts the quilt for you.
Wow.
And so that's a service that they provide, and it saves customers hours of work to finish up their quilt. So they get to do the fun part, and then the company will do the hard part and time-consuming part. So
how does that play into the quilter's satisfaction?
A lot.
Really? Even though a machine did it?
Yeah, because with the long arm quilting, it extends the life of the quilt. It makes it more durable. People who have had their quilts long arm quilted have never regretted it. I've asked some people, because I have a lot of quilting friends, and if I had a choice, I would get mine long arm quilted before hand quilting it every time.
Now Jaden is laughing at me for not knowing all these technical terms. I know that's why he's laughing.
But yeah, that's our company. So we're just kind of throwing together some ads. We were playing with trying to do it as specifying, because they have like 3 main products that they sell. So it's like, do we want to specify on just one of those products, or do we want to specify on the quilting company as a whole? So that's kind of where we're playing with. So
you're feeling comfortable that you're making progress, and you couldn't be here for the first part of it. And so let me say it again to everybody, just in case some of you missed it, is as you guys as you're building up this ad, don't hesitate to send it over to me for my comments. And if you want, I'll score it at that point. And then you can look at it and say, ooh, that's not what we want, and we're going to do more. And we'll talk about it together about what else you need to do in order to get it so that it's up to the killer ad status. Okay?
Cool. Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, Hayden, do you have anything to add to that? Is Hayden there? I see his name up there, but okay, then let me go to, I see Trevor's there and Diana. We got the Regal Manufacturing. So tell us what that is and how you're doing with them.
Okay. So my group is Trevor and Justin. And
is Trevor on here?
No.
Okay. Well, you said he was. So, Diana, I can cover it if you don't.
Yeah, you're good. Thank you.
Yeah. So Regal Manufacturing, they're a plastic making company. I don't know if you've ever walked into a gas station like a Maverick or 7-Eleven or any kind of gas station. They've got Krispy Kreme donuts they sell in there. So those plastic displays you see in there, those are actually made by Regal Manufacturing, as well as the cigarette lighters that are sold in front of the counter, all those little dinky little toys and stuff, accessories that are sold on the counter at gas stations.
So they're an extrusion. They're a plastic extrusion manufacturer.
Exactly. I actually worked for them when I was in high school, and so did Trevor. It's actually owned by a family friend. His name's James Mortimer. So we know a little bit about it. We've done a lot of the work for them. We plan on actually sitting down with James either later this week or next week, early next week, to sit down and kind of just see kind of what his demographics are and see where he wants us to focus on.
Okay.
But mainly our ad is going to be focused on really kind of trying to see if we can reach more than just gas stations, right? Like that's kind of like the idea, is to help him expand his company a little bit. But I mean, again, this is trial and error with him, and you know, I don't know if our ad would be taken. Like we'll do our part, but yeah, we plan to sit down and meet with them next week.
All right, the same thing holds. You know, get it over to me as fast as you can, and I'll take a look. Okay.
Okay.
And again, we're used to the idea of only turning stuff in when it's all complete, and you can still do that, but I'm telling you, you don't have to. Okay.
Okay. Makes sense.
How about let's see, we missed out on. I think I've got everybody there. Josh. I don't see Anna or Brenly on, so you're, I guess, the Lone Ranger on this.
No, you're good. So we are working with the company that my family's pretty close with. It's a lumber manufacturer. They not a lumber manufacturer. They custom make molding and trim and things for like they do some residential work, but they generally do big money stuff. So if it were like my house, probably not. They cater more to the big money guys. They've done a few famous people who I'm not allowed to say just for propriety's sake, but a lot of famous golfers, some famous football players. They've done some, they did part of Disney World. They've done some of their stuff. And so most of who they talk to isn't actually the end customer. They usually go through there's a middleman they go through. So they, Green Forest Industries, they will go to these conventions where all of the, where designers and architects and these guys are, and that's who they cater to. It ultimately ends up by being presented to the through the client, to the end consumer, but they go through the middleman of the designer first. And so one of the things they've been trying to overcome is reaching more people at these conventions. They keep finding themselves in a position where they keep ending up with the same customers they've always had, and they do a lot of really good business. They have been for the last 26 years. But for all the effort they put into going, you know, it costs money to go to these conventions. For all the effort and the money that it takes to go to these, they don't feel like they get enough bang out of their buck. They don't feel like they get enough growth out of it. And so one of the things they've asked us to do is put together a brochure that they can put out at the conventions, so that it's a family-owned business, so that his daughter and his wife, they can spread their influence more. So that way, by the time they get to the people, these people already have an idea of who they are and what they do.
Okay. That sounds like a very solid project that you can help them out with.
Right. And so we've come up with 3 rough drafts for them already, and we sent it to them a little over a week ago. We had an appointment with them last week, but they were a little slammed with actually a new client that they've taken on. And so our meeting with them was pushed into tomorrow, and the 3 of us so me and Brinley and Anna will meet with Brian and Nikita, their owner and marketing manager. We'll have a conference call with them to go over the rough drafts and go over some of their thoughts and things that they want.
Okay.
2 of the messages we're playing around with are this feeling of prestige. A lot of the things that, it's like this feeling that when you walk into a home with really nice finished wood, like whether it's hardwood floors or those really nice, awesome doors, it's like wow feeling. And so we've been playing on this feeling of this wow feeling, or this feeling of prestige that you get when you're able to show off quality craftsmanship. These are the 2 feelings that we're playing. Have you been able to
talk to any of their customers?
No, because we don't have access to them at this point.
Yeah, it would be very nice if they would give you 2 or 3 customers to talk to and just find out why do they pick them?
Right.
What caused them to go to them?
So I'm working on a list of that with Brian, and there's contractual things that he's worried about. So he's got to figure out if we are going to talk to one of the customers, he's got to find the right people for us to talk to. My family has done business with him in the past, and a lot of that is because we understand the quality of work that they deliver. And so, I mean, we know why they're chosen. It's
okay.
So
okay.
we're trying to work around some contractual constraints, but for now, we're just going to have to wait till their meeting comes.
Okay, I'll look forward to seeing you, helping you with it. Peyton, how about your group? I don't see Robert. Is Caden on?
I don't think Caden's on. No.
Or Robert. Okay.
Or Robert.
So you're the Lone Ranger here.
We're doing Robert's company. It's called Moz. It's a branding and apparel company. They do t-shirts and gear and websites and stuff for small businesses.
So you guys figured out what you guys have met and decided upon a company.
We did. Right? We did. Yep. So we're going to do, it's him and another guy. He does kind of all the logistics. The other guy does all of the graphic design and all that. So we're doing advertisements for his specific business.
Good. Okay. And any particular challenges you're having that, or are you just making progress?
No, we're just chugging along. We met Sunday, figured out, kind of broke down the company and what we can do, and we'll start building it out.
Okay. All right. Well, I have one last thing I want to show you. We've lost about a third of the group for whatever reason. Is as you are reading these chapters on advertising, there's a lot of things that I've got to warn you about. But one thing I would like to be able to share with you, and as soon as I find it on my computer, there it is, I'm going to share it with you. As you start looking at an advertisement, this chart you see right here is in files in Canvas. And you ought to pull this out as a means of scoring this ad and helping you to kind of have a better idea, a good way of being able to evaluate the ad. You'll notice with that, with this, what I'm mainly focused on is advertisements for a small business or energetic other business, and what you've got to worry about is making money. I'm not into delayed response and getting a brand out there 5 years from now and whatever else like that. No. So this will help you as you look at it. There's a couple of weird things here. IRA and trackable results might seem the same, but there's some subtleties to it as you read the book. Another one is when you get into interest from benefits and benefits specific. I actually separated those so you had to go back and look at it again. And that is, people will give us benefits all the time. This will give me a product. Let's say pearls, Mikasa pearls that I've sold. They're exquisite pearls that make you look great. Well, how do they make me look great? In what way do they enhance me? And as you start pushing on it, the Mikasa pearl people will tell you actually, because they're all real pearls, they're all from an oyster, and they're all from the ocean, there's a luster to them, and as they touch your skin, it affects you, and as you know that, it makes you happier, and it projects a more positive image. Well, that's a real specific benefit, as opposed to it makes you look nice. You see what I'm saying? So you want to look at that, and actionable and trackable results might seem the same, but they're really not. One is the emotion and one is the mechanics. So you want to be able to look at those. And you're going to be reading those in your text. And I want to just, anybody have a question about that? We definitely like the questions. Anything? Okay. If you don't have any questions, I've got one more thing for you. And we're going to go over this next time quite a bit. And what I want you to look at is, I'm going to show you 3 advertisements. Okay. This is a real one. My son's company was involved in doing it, and we did a little test. And the question is I don't want you to look at it yet. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. That's all. 10 seconds to read an ad. Then you're going to go to the next ad. Then you're going to go to the next ad. They're all emails, all sent to the same list. And I want you to determine which one of these got, I think it was a 27% response rate. And one of them got, we'll show you what it is in a second, 18% response rate, and one got an 11%. Now, is an 11% response rate bad? Who would like to tell us? Is an 11% response rate bad?
No, that's not bad.
It's actually pretty dang good. Out of a house list, it's pretty dang good. The other ones were just doing better. So I want you to determine which one, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each one of them. You get 10 seconds on each one of them, and then we're going to go back up and give you 5 or 10 seconds on them again, and then we're going to stop, and then you're going to vote on which one got the highest, okay? So you ready? Good. Here we go. Next. Next. Then we're going to go back. Oops. There you go. All right. Now I'm going to stop the share so I can find out, so you can raise your hands mechanically. You know, I guess we can do it. No, some of you don't have your cameras on, so that'll be a little tough. So you should all have a way to, what was it? Reactions. Reactions. Let's see. What are the forms of reaction here? You guys know how to raise your hand on the computer? Is that something everybody can do? Yeah. Oh, April just did it. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So which test got 27%? Okay. Was it number 1? Raise your hand if you say it was number 1. Nobody. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody has to vote. 6. I think 7. And then 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so that's the winner, right? Okay, this one got an 11% sales rate. This one got a 14% sales rate. And this one got 27%. So the big question is why? And we knew what the results were, but it's one thing to know the results and figure out why it happened. This one, the reason it got the lowest Would you like to guess as we started doing the research on it?
Which one got the lowest? It wasn't showing the screen when.
Oh,
I think maybe I'm the only one. I'm not sure.
no, Jaden, I don't have it up there. Okay, let's go back. I can't see you guys. All right, let's go ahead and share the screen. Can you see that? Tyler, can you see that now? Okay. Tyler, would you tell me why you think that this might have gotten the lowest? What could possibly be the reason?
It looks like a lot of different print, and it doesn't look uniform. And the I don't know. It has different colors and such, but it seems distracting.
Okay. Let me tell you the real reason. As we did this part of the research. Reason. Okay. Again, you know, we had the same reaction you did. And we started doing it. We went, uh-oh.
This is the one that got the lowest?
This got the lowest.
Oh, yeah, I was opposite, but okay.
Yeah. This one got the lowest because it ended up in spam. Because it looks like spam. You know, a nice header and everything else. And everybody says, oh, it looks so professional and whatnot. When you're dealing with email, you got to make it like it just came from your brother or your mother. That's when you read something that comes in an email. So when you look at this one had, again, a nice look as far as looking like it came from your brother or your mother or your best friend. As we started to research it, and I'm going to show number one again, and people always say, oh, the reason this didn't do very well is it was too long. I hope we can drum that idea out of your mind. And Tyler, you and all the rest of the guys that have been in sales and gals that have been in sales have got to know that when you send a salesman out to do the sales, you do not limit them on the number of words, right?
I've always been trained the less words, the better.
Less words, the better. But here's the key. How many words do you say? Just enough to make the sale.
Right.
Okay. But
so
you tell them, okay, you'd only speak 25 words. No. Okay. So it has to be a controlled amount, not too much. Although when you look at it, people are interested in things that are long, such as a book. Why do people read it? Because it's interesting. If the first couple of paragraphs are interesting, they'll read until they're not interested anymore, but they'll keep reading. So that's this one. The line, we tried it for this version versus this version. We simply took the top line and switched it with this one, and this one won again. So we could tell that this, you know, thank you for your loyal membership. Suddenly they're in the picture, they're important. And that seemed to be what made the difference. So I'm gonna stop sharing this and answer any questions you guys have about it. Disagreements are good. Jonathan, you got your hand up, Jonathan? Or is that left over from voting?
That's left over, I'm sorry.
Okay. So do you guys have any questions about this one?
I agree. I agree with what you found. I think that people want you to cut right to the chase, and they don't want all the flam and zabam, because it's like, okay, just tell me straight up, like what are you trying to say? You know, especially with how many emails people get sent.
Yeah. Would you guys all, I'm looking for somebody that, I don't know if you want extra credit or whatever else, in files, I believe there's a letter there from Gary Halbert. Okay. Now, Gary Halbert, he died about 10 years ago. He's a good friend of mine. One of the best copywriters I've ever seen. He just did huge amounts for all kinds of different industries. One of the best. In there is a direct mail letter. It wasn't really a direct mail letter. He bought a full page in Investors Daily and ran this letter. So it was long. I mean, a full page letter. And I'd like you to read it if anybody wants to read it, and we can comment on it next time. So there's that. And I'll give you one other little prejudice in here. I wrote a fundraising piece for a political organization. They weren't Republicans, they weren't Democrats, they were a free market lobby group. And it was, now granted, it was on paper that was about this big. It wasn't a full sheet. It was about a little more than half a sheet, okay? It was on buff or tan paper. It was 18 pages long, okay? 18 pages long. On one side, not both sides, folded up, took a little extra postage, had the same kind of envelope and sent it out. It still holds the record nationally, internationally, if I'm told, for the most money produced from a letter per piece mailed. In other words, it generated $129 for every letter that was sent out. So if we sent out 100 letters, we knew we were going to get back 100 times $129. All right, we ran that for about 2 years, back and forth, raised a lot of money for the organization. 18 pages. As you guys read what you're going to be reading, just think about those two examples, and we'll talk more about them next week. Okay?
What was that? What was that second one called? What is under files? So there's the Gary one and then the letter.
Oh, Gary Halbert.
Yeah, Gary Halbert. And then what was yours called?
I don't even have a copy of it anymore.
Oh, I thought you said that was under files as well, but
oh, I was probably stuttering. So no, it's okay. Just Gary Halbert is the one you're going to want to do. Take a look at. And cool. Tyler, if you're going to look it up, would you email me and make sure it's there?
Uh-oh. Now I've done, yeah, I'll look it up. Yeah, right. I was looking for it right now, so I was just making sure that I had the right information.
Good. All right, those of you still who haven't paid for your book, please send it in so I don't have to hear things from the foundation. Why aren't your students helping it? Okay, so anyway, and if you have any questions about whether I've received yours, let me know, but I think, I don't want to name names right now, so I'll leave it at that. So, but Rebecca,
the letter's
yes.
in there, by the way.
What?
The letter's in there, by the way.
It is. Yeah. You're a champ, Tyler. Way to go,
Good
Tyler.
old control find. So we found
yeah, it's amazing what happened. So, okay, well, you guys, if you want to get your group together and Zoom me, and you want to go over your advertisement or stuff, do it, or send it to me or whatever. So, okay, you guys have a wonderful week. Hang in there. I guess social distance, sort of, or a lot, unless you're in Cache County, then don't do it at all. Cache Valley, especially if you work in a meat packing. All right, take care. I'll end the meeting. Bye.
Sounds good. Bye.
Thanks.